So it's August, the year is 2000, the end of August, and I'm in the Black Rock Desert in Nevada at the Burning Man Festival. And all around me, people are like, yeah, awesome, best party ever, oh my god, I love Burning Man, hey, ah! And I'm miserable. I want nothing more than to go back out on the highway, hitchhike my way back to Reno, get in a plane, and come back to the sanity and civilization of Toronto. I'm dirty, I'm hungry, I'm hot and sweaty, I'm lonely, and I'm losing all control. So if anybody doesn't know what the Burning Man Festival is, to try and describe it, it's kind of like a performance art festival meets a giant rave, meets a hippie love-in, meets a crazy fashion show in the middle of this desert in Nevada that happens once a year, where 60,000 people get together and they build a city for 1 week. And the idea is that everyone is a participant, there's no spectators. So everybody brings something for the rest of the people. So that could be maybe they're DJs and they're putting on a party, or it might be they have an RV and they decorate it to look like a giant caterpillar. Or maybe they do some sort of like performance art thing, or they build a giant sculpture in the middle of the city. And so it's kind of, that's the idea, is everybody is bringing something for someone else. And what we've brought is we've decided we're going to build a huge geodesic dome, and we're going to run a camp called Superhero Outfitters, where we turn people into superheroes and villains. And this is really exciting. And this is my first time at Burning Man, and I'm with my boyfriend at the time, who I've been with for exactly 1 month. And I didn't realize what a risk that was going in. But I'm seeing now. So basically the 2 weeks leading up to Burning Man, it's a flurry of activity. I'm sewing capes and I'm going out and I'm getting masks and all sorts of implements that we can use as weapons, like, you know, water guns and flippers and all sorts of things that we can hand out and say, here's your weapon. And I'm devising a superhero name generator where they put in, pick one word out of 2 hats, and that's their superhero name, and how they're going to find out what their weakness is and what their super strength is. And I've got a Polaroid camera. We're going to take pictures, and everyone's going to be like card-carrying members, and I'm super excited about this, right? And we get down to Burning Man, and we've driven for 48 hours straight. And I'm exhausted. But there is no rest at Burning Man, because it is non-stop thump, 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 thump. The music never ends. It's like a party that just goes for 7 days straight. And it's hot, and we have we sleep in a tent, and the tent is hot. And we've gone down with a bunch of people who we didn't really know, who we kind of met, online through various communities online. And it turns out they're frat boys. Which is not good, because it means all they do is they drink and they leave their shit everywhere. And my job is Earth Guardian. So I'm supposed to be the one, at the end of the week, you're not supposed to leave any trace that you were ever there, down to like the littlest sequin on the Playa ground. And so I'm chasing all week after these guys to pick up after themselves, and they don't, so I'm picking up after them. And I'm also cooking for the camp. I'm trying to make myself useful, right? I'm trying to be a part of this camp. And my boyfriend, my new boyfriend, is in heaven because he is building this giant geodesic dome. And he's an engineer, and he's a builder, and he likes carrying heavy shit. Which I do not. That's not my happy place. I'm not in my happy place. So he spends all his time, and he's grossly miscalculated how long it's going to take to build this dome, right? So, this dome is about the size of this bar. It's massive. And the frat boys have fucked off. So other guys, there's a lot of builder guys who go to Burning Man. They're all like, oh, awesome, geodesic domes. And so they're all helping him. And meanwhile, I'm trying to keep my shit together, and he's ignoring me. And we're supposed to run Superhero Outfitters like 3 times by now, and now it's the 4th day, and nothing's happened, and the dome is still going up, and I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't understand why people are doing this, and they all spent so much money, and we spent so much time coming down here. Couldn't all of this effort been, put to better use curing cancer or feeding world hunger or something? I just don't get it. And I'm so tired, I'm losing my shit. And finally, the dome is done. And they put this huge parachute on it, and it takes like 70 people to get the parachute over and a gust of wind. And I've been cooking all day because we're having a party because now the dome is done. So we're inviting people in. Yeah, come on in, come into our dome. Yeah, we're going to do superhero outfitters tomorrow. Come back, blah, blah. All these people are coming in, and they're eating all the chili I've been cooking all day. And I'm in line to get the chili that I cooked. And I get to the end of the line, and it's gone. There's no more food. And this is it, right? This is like final straw. I'm like, tears are welling up in my eyes. And I'm like, I have to get away from all of this because I'm just going to go ballistic. So I start walking, and I start walking out on the playa, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm crying, and I'm like, people are like, hey girl, what's wrong? You want some acid? No, fuck off, leave me alone. Anyway, so I'm walking, and then I trip. And I've tripped over a crate on the ground. It's about this big. And on this crate is a sign, and it says, letting go box. Need to let go of something? Yeah, I think I need to let go of a lot. So I open it up, and seriously, inside there is paper, slips of paper, and pencil, and it says, if you need to let go of something, write down what you need to let go of, and we'll burn it at the end of the week when they burn the giant man, which is this huge man that they burn at the end of Burning Man, hence the name. So I write down everything. I write down, I'm dirty, I hate it here, I don't get it, I'm not a hippie, I don't fit in, you know, I'm a stupid boyfriend, I don't think this is ever going to work, why am I here, I hate frat boys, oh, I can't sleep, I'm so dirty, oh, make it end. I write it all down, I'm crying, and I feel a lot better. And I put it in the box, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I can get into this a little bit. But I need time, and I need space, and I need to be alone and away from the noise. So I start walking out to the perimeter of the festival, which is like an hour away. It's like Mississauga from here. Maybe not that far, but it's far. Because I want to just get as far away and be as alone as possible and just think. And as I'm walking and I can see the fence, I see something out by the fence. And I'm like, what is that? And I go over to investigate, and someone has set up a sun shower. So there's a shower, basically, with a big barrel of water, and it's been sitting out in the sun all day, and there's a sign, and there's soap, and it's saying, need to get clean, need to get clean of something, clean yourself, right? And I'm like, hells yeah. So I take off my clothes, and I'm like washing myself, I'm like, yes, shower! Because it's been 5 days, right? And everybody's naked at Burning Man, so it's not really a big deal. Although I'm still a little like, no, but people can't see me. But yeah, and so then I'm like, clean, and I'm like, this is great. And then, so I'm feeling pretty good. And then I decide, you know what? I think I'm starting to like relax a little bit now. And I start walking and I start exploring all these big, giant sculptures and things you can climb on. And there's a maze. Someone has built like a maze that you can walk through and get lost in. So I'm walking through this maze when the wind picks up. And the wind picks up and it picks up and it picks up. And all of a sudden it's like whiteout conditions. So you can put your hand in front of you. It's like a snowstorm, except it's a sandstorm whipping through the desert. And like anything that's not tied down, like tents, boas, everything, it's just like flipping by, right? But you can't really see it because it's so windy. It's probably like 30 kilometers an hour. So I press myself against the maze and I put my goggles on. If you see pictures of Burning Man, they're all wearing goggles and bandanas. There's a reason. I put my goggles on and my bandana so that I don't get sand in my eyes or my mouth. And I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and it passes, and I'm like, I feel like something has just, like the weather has shifted, something has shifted in me. And I walk back towards my camp, and I'm ready to kind of have a talk with my new boyfriend and tell him, how I've been feeling and stuff. And as I approach the camp, I realize that my nemesis has been defeated because that dome in the wind completely blown in. So what was at one point like half of a sphere is now something that looks kind of like the front of the ROM. It's like all weird angles and some sort of starship thing. Not really. And I am like, yes. I am so happy. But then I think my boyfriend probably is not going to be, because he just spent 4 days in the hot sun putting this thing up, and this was where we were going to have our superhero outfitters. And so I go and I see my boyfriend, and he's like, yep. Then I give him a hug, and I take him into our tent, and we make love so that he'll forget about it for a moment. And he does. And then afterwards, I tell him everything that I've been going through over the past 4 days. And then the next day, we do our superhero outfitters outside of the dome that we just spent 4 days building. And people come by and we turn them into superheroes and we turn other people into villains. And it's amazing. We have a fantastic time. And then I realized that the real heroes, though, weren't the superheroes that we created. The real heroes of Burning Man were the people I didn't see. The person who created that letting go box, and the person who created that sun shower, and the person who created the maze. And all these people who are creating these amazing gifts anonymously. And I take this idea back to Toronto about, anonymous gifting, and I decide that I'm going to do this as well. And then I see it. And the thing is, you don't have to go to Burning Man to see this, because this happens in our city all the time. All these amazing little things that if you open your eyes, you'll see. Like, last year I was walking through Queen's Park and someone had strung a hammock between 2 trees. How awesome is that? Or the person who at Easter decorates their tree with all little Easter eggs hanging down outside. How awesome is that? Or the person who, in my neighborhood, I don't know if anyone is around Church in Wellesley, who puts up these little flyers, and maybe they're in other neighborhoods as well, and they say, take what you need, and underneath it says love, safety, trust, joy, and you can rip one of those off, whatever you need. Those, to me, are the real heroes, and the heroes are all around us. Thank you.